We're back.
Long hiatus. Can you do me a favor before you start?
Yeah.
On your Facebook? I want to share this on your Facebook. So can you just change your privacy thing for me?
Yeah. Let me just jump over. I don't know who we've got in.
I'm on it. Can you do me a favor before you start? I'm going to sit that down. Yeah. Bosh.
Public.
I want to share this on your Facebook. So can you just change your privacy thing for me?
Done. Yeah. Changed it.
Perfect. I'm on it. Bosh. I'm going to share this. Oh man. Here we go. Done. We're in. All done.
Well,
mate, how's it been?
Yeah, good.
When's the last one we did?
June.
Was it as far back as that?
No, because we were back in the salon.
Yeah.
We were back in the salon, and we did. Yeah, we did. Yeah, oh yeah, we did a couple when we were back in the salon in the good weather.
Yeah. It's harder.
I remember I did one. I think outside we did a quick one on Instagram, maybe.
On Instagram. Yeah. So quick thing. Got to tell me about it. The big things happening in your life. I saw it straight away. Is the mass explosion on your YouTube?
Well, yes, it's going well. It's going well. Like from when we were last doing this, and I mean, yeah, it's been a hard year. I started last January, decided to really sort of commit to it and do it 2 videos a week. And this year has been really hard because of coming up with content in lockdown. It's been really difficult, but worth it. Yeah, I mean, it's now monetized, so I'm now earning money from videos, which I've got a video coming very soon. I'm editing that today, so that'll be coming out very soon. How much YouTube have paid me since I've been monetized, and a lot more how-tos. Like I've got loads of how-to videos coming soon.
Yeah,
which is really cool.
The growth then. So prior to lockdown, March last year, where were you on your YouTube setup? How many followers did you have?
When we were doing this last time, I think I was on about 2,000, 3,000 maybe.
Yeah, I can remember you doing about. So we had the conversation. We spoke to James Atkinson. Remember he came on?
Yeah.
And at that point, James had about 22,000.
Yeah.
And he's up in like the 60s or something now, isn't he? I think
he's on countdown to 50k. He's on countdown 50k. But I see there's people watching now, so just let us know, everybody, in the comments, and we'll bring them up on screen, how you all are, how you're coping with lockdown, and we're here again just to chat with everybody. So get all your comments in the comment box, and
also if you've got a positive story, share it. It's like a positive platform. We don't use any whinging. We only want to hear good news. I've had a gob full of bad news, so only the good news stuff. Yeah.
Yes, we've got Sam. Hello,
Hi,
Sam.
Good lad. Sam, what's the biggest thing that's happened for you over lockdown? What's the important things happened? Hi, Tony. So, so I know Sam's always busy as well, isn't he? So,
Anthony. Hi, Anthony. Yeah. Positive stories. That's what we're here today for.
Yeah.
We'll be back doing this every week. Are we, Ian? Are we going to commit to every week?
Let's do it every week.
Every week we'll be back again on Monday.
It's like the Monday lull. Do you know after lunch when you feel like tired and you get that lull? This is good, like the wake you up hour.
Yeah.
Stories only, good news only. Going back to your YouTube.
Yeah.
So I remember I was having a conversation with James Atkinson, and we came off afterwards, and we stayed right after. Hiya, Tony. How are you, mate? So I remember speaking afterwards to you, and you said you were on about 2,500 followers, and you said, mate, if I can get to 5,000 followers, that'll make me the second biggest UK hairdressing YouTuber.
Yeah, I said that. I don't know where it is now.
Well, you're 7,500 followers now, nearly.
Yeah.
So since March, within a year, you've grown it by nearly 5,000 followers.
Yeah.
How?
Well, I was just telling you before we jumped on.
That's why I'm asking the question, because I know the answer.
Well, I've just been putting together some courses as well, so which I'm going to release soon. But how I grew YouTube, basically just investing all my time in it. How-to videos have done really well. Just invested. I made a commitment last January. I didn't know we were going to go into a lockdown or anything. I was just
godsend for you.
It has, to be honest. Lockdown happened well in a way, and also not, because content's incredibly hard. At the beginning, I didn't really understand where I sat in YouTube. I love vlogging. I love people, letting people into my life and seeing what I get up to. But not many people want to see that at the minute. They want it. So I then changed to sort of trend reporting, which are doing really well for me. I think my niche into YouTube is like trend reports. That's what's really kicked off my subscribers.
They are really good, to be fair.
Thank you. And then the how-tos. So they've really propelled my channel this year. And that was only, I probably started doing how-to videos this lockdown, I think.
Can I tell you what I think's happened from my perspective, from the outside looking in?
Hi, Jess.
I think is this. And I had a conversation with this. Who did I speak to this about last week? I did a live with somebody last week, and we talked about the difference between influencers and educators, right? And I think you've gone away from an influencer's market to an educator's market, and boom, because that's where you're at your most powerful.
Yeah, is
when you're educating. Because you are an out and out sharer, a giver. On everything you do, you share all of the time. And so I think since you've made that switch and become like a true educator, this is what we're doing. This is how I do it. And you're giving it nuts and bolts. Yeah. And everything you're doing, warts and all, it's taken off, it's flying. And I think there's the power in education. And I think the influencing thing, I actually think we're going to see the death over the next 2 years of influencers.
Oh,
I really believe that. And I think unless you've got something real to contribute and to talk about, which is beneficial to other people are going to switch off to you. They don't care where you're going on your holidays or what new bikini you're wearing or what shorts you went for jogging, stuff like that type of stuff, or what supplement you're taking.
Yeah.
Unless you can educate them and give them value and added value to their life, which they can go out and do themselves and become, feel the benefits, then I think that education is going to become massive.
Yeah, definitely. I think maybe what will creep in is like industry approved influencers and that sort of thing.
Yes. Yeah. And listen, influencers, I'm not dissing influencers.
No.
But I think there are so many people now who are trying to become influencers, and actually influencers evolved naturally. They became influencers because they had a good lifestyle. People were cool and looking. They were interested in what they were doing. And I think there's what that actually's done is reached that tipping point where people are becoming a bit disillusioned by influencers because they feel as if their life is shit by comparison.
100%.
It doesn't make you feel good anymore. It makes you feel bad.
Well, this is the whole thing at the minute where I don't want to be like here dissing. We're going to go on to.
No, not dissing. I'm just saying they have a massive place, but I think that there's so many people now that are doing it. But a lot of influencers, they aren't evolving. They're just trying to be big and brash, and and there's no value in that.
Well, no. And the thing I was just going to highlight of that and saying we're not dissing them is the whole Dubai thing. So they've all gone out to Dubai, they've all drinking, partying, and they go, oh yeah, like, I'm going to influence you. I'm going to influence your behaviour by showing you how good this weather is. And while we're sitting back in the UK, like sort of thing. But that's my only thing. Like, yeah, they're doing what they're doing. They're getting paid for it. Fair play. They have created this brand for themselves. Fair play, crack on. But we will see the influencer slowly diluting into more of a approved industry sort of thing, I think.
Yeah.
let's just jump into. We've got a load of comments, so let's just jump in and just answer a couple. So, Anthony, best bit about lockdown is the amount of courses I've done. It's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah, I agree.
That is the thing about lockdown. I mean, everyone is upskilling, learning different things, changing different things. So it's amazing to see. Sam, I'm either filming on TV, oh, amazing, or morphing into my sofa. There is no in between. I love that.
Yeah, do you know it's funny? I read something the other day about the rise of the accountability coach.
Yeah,
and I was aware of this probably about 18 months ago about people becoming like, hi Louise.
Hi Louise.
So I was thinking about accountability coach. Do you know what I've just done? Oh, nice, Sam. Yeah, it works amazing, isn't it?
Yeah,
I've got myself an accountability coach.
You have?
Oh, best thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
Do you know what I've got? An Apple Watch.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God! If I haven't closed my rings in a day, I'm like, well, actually, I've gone 8 days now with closing my rings every day, and I've become obsessed. I'm doing the workouts on it. I'm kind of make sure I'm active, get my steps in. I'm doing. It's the best thing I've ever done.
My dad's obsessed with closing his rings.
Oh my God. Yeah, I know. It sounds bad, right? But I was like, it's brilliant. I've just like, Lisa's had one for a while. My fiance, I remember, she's done that amazing. But she bought it for me. She said, look, you've got to have this. And I was like, I don't really want to buy into this thing. And since the moment I put it on, it's changed everything.
Amazing.
I'm training more regularly. Every day I'm training. Even if it's only 10 minutes a day, I'm going to do something because otherwise I don't close my green ring. And then I'm like, I'll be sad, so I'm not going to do that. I'm eating better as a result. I'm feeling better as a result. I'm talking, I'm engaging. That feels so much better. So that's fantastic, you know. That's a great comment, and it's true, actually. I think that's what we say about YouTube and Instagram. You're always very engaging when it comes to that. I mean, you and I work together because of that.
Yeah.
From the first time we met, you were always, I said, how are you doing that? And you like just laid it all out.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. When I remember you saying, like, when I come into Joyco, you were like, who's this guy?
Yeah.
Like,
I wasn't beating around the bush either. I was like, who is this guy then?
Yeah. And we hit it off. Like we just get on with people. And I think that's a beautiful thing, that we are the giving traits, but we've also got that vibe, that aura where we make people feel comfortable. About asking questions. And
your first aim is to make people feel good.
Yeah.
You know, whenever I meet somebody, I want them to feel good and comfortable. I don't want to be making them feel shit.
Nah.
Yeah.
And I don't get why people have that sort of mentality either, to be honest. Like the whole jealousy trait and all that, where it comes in and their first thing is to belittle somebody. It's like there was something on Instagram earlier about, there was Mariah Carey, Elton John, and someone else, and they were all talking about Madonna, that, oh, if she brings out another album, hopefully she doesn't sing on it, or she needs to learn how to like lip sync if she comes out again. And there's all this sort of bashing that goes on, and it's like just big up everybody, to be honest.
I think she's done all right out of what she's doing.
I think she's doing all right.
She's done okay, you know. So the next thing for you now, then, you've been working with Lee a lot, right, recently? Yeah,
Lee Stafford. So I'm one of his staffs, as we're called. STAF, just one F, because what it means is, it means S is for stay yourself, T is for think open, A is for act responsible, and F is for feel the energy. And that's like the mantra.
I was wondering what the F was going to be for with Lee.
Yeah. feel the energy.
Yeah.
And to be honest, without Lee's support, I wouldn't be the educator, or I wouldn't be as confident as I am today. He took me right under his wing, and got me in with Red Ken at the beginning, and sort of like took me through that. And then when I come over to Joyco, I still work with Lee on his side of things, with Lee Stafford Education. And yeah, I've been doing a number of lives. I've got 2 next week. I'm going to be doing Hales Owen College and Stoke College. And then the 2nd of March, I'm doing a big one I think, for 20 colleges. So
Whoa.
that's
Is that simultaneously or is that separately?
So how's up? Stokes on Monday. Oh no, that 21. That's all together.
Wow.
Yeah. So
how many people do you think would be on that one thing, the one call?
We're hoping around about 1,000.
Wow. That's huge. That's huge. That's almost as big as your YouTube channel.
Almost, yeah. Bigger, mate. It's bigger.
Yeah. But
we'll get your questions in, guys. Keep them coming. We can see that there's 15, 16, 17 people in here. So just keep your questions coming in, or positivity.
Oh, yeah, some of the best things that people have done, I think that's what I'd like to know is that, I've had a conversation today on, I don't know if anybody's joined in. Hi, Leah. How are you? Leah's always fab. I did an Instagram live with Leah about in the summer. It was absolutely fantastic. We had a really good time. And I think we said we were going to do it again, but we haven't got around to it. So we have to do that again.
Well, this is why we're just doing it now. I mean, we were talking before we came on, and we were saying, I can't believe we started this nearly a year ago.
Yeah.
And we've been doing this, we haven't done this since June or July. It's mind-boggling.
The worst thing is we've got, at that time we had such great momentum, and the lockdown has really put the brakes on our plans, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Which incidentally still hasn't gone away. It's still there.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. But I think 2022 is going to happen 2022.
Tony is our LSE included, Paul. It should be Tony. We haven't sent out links or anything yet. I got my links today for Stoke and Howes Owen, but by, I don't know, coming to the end of February, you should get a LSE link to the live. So yeah.
It'd be amazing.
Lee, absolutely your hot topic in one of our groups yesterday. Ian, ears burning.
I don't know what it must be some of my mascara or something, maybe. Actually, one of the things I was talking about today, actually, in Clubhouse, I don't know if anybody's, if you've got Clubhouse, just send us a thumbs up so we know you've got Clubhouse. And I'm finding that quite interesting. Are you on it, Paul? Have you been on there yet?
I'm Android. I'm Android.
Oh yeah, man, yeah, you are.
When it started, I've seen all these people wanting invites. I've had 7.
Yeah,
I've had 7 invites, and I can't do anything with it.
Yeah, you see how popular you are. I had one invite, I took it, and that's it. Both got us into hairdressing. Oh, mine's a long story. Do you want to go first?
What got me into hairdressing? I've just literally written a new bio today because I'm putting out something soon. But what got me into hairdressing was the need for immediate results given to me within a brief. So I went to university. There's a big story before this, but broken down. I went to university and I studied creative design and marketing. And I was given briefs which were like 6 months, 8 months to complete. And I was doing them on the day. I was like, give me the brief. I'll break it all down. I'd create a final look and I'd take it, and they'd be like, well, you've got 6 months, like, go away. And then I was like, that's it. That's my idea. That's my look. So what it got to a point with was I would get a brief, I'd design it. I'd be like, that's it. And then I'd just go away and doodle for 6 months and say, that was my process of design work. And then there's my final image. And they were like, see, you can design.
What was the course?
Creative design with marketing.
Yeah.
And then I realized that, look, I love immediate results. I love somebody coming in, giving me a brief and being able to create there and then. So I finished uni after 2 years. I didn't do my 3rd year. Started hairdressing. Didn't get it. Didn't get hairdressing at all. It clicked one day, and I just love the way that people come in. They give us a brief by either spoken or a picture, and we can create it there and then. And that's my story in short. There's a big thing surrounding it, but that's what got me into it. The love of creating something immediately.
I think mine is a little bit different to yours. Well, it is not a little bit. It's totally different to yours, because I was that typical kid in school that wasn't very good at anything, and I didn't know what I was going to do. I would spend most of my time down like the snooker hall, playing snooker when I was a kid, from about 13. Because I started hairdressing in the 80s, so in the 70s, snooker was big. When I was a teenager, snooker was big. So I was playing snooker. I then, at 14, went to play snooker in a working men's club's team.
Yeah.
And the guy who kind of took me under his wing was my mum's hairdresser, who was this big flamboyant character with all these flash cars and, the big blow dry and all this, And I just didn't know how to handle him. I was a really shy kid, believe it or not. I was really, really shy.
Same, mate.
So, I was always very polite and nice and everything. And I just didn't enjoy school. So I wasn't very good at it. I knew I wasn't stupid, but just wasn't very good at it. Anyway, so when I was leaving school, I said, and I still hadn't got a job or something. And he said, why don't you come and work for me? And I was so shy, I couldn't tell him no, that I didn't want to do it. So I said yes. And went home, told my parents, and I said, I've agreed, but obviously you can ring him now and tell him I've changed my mind. Yeah. And my mum said, yeah, no problem. But if you've agreed, you have to tell him. And she knew I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So I had a tantrum. I had a meltdown. I didn't want to go. But on the day that I was due to start, I went. My mum took me. She dropped me off outside. And I went, really grudgingly. I spent 6 months fighting it. And I wanted to get out. And after 6 months, I decided I wasn't going to do it any longer. Wrote out my notice. And I remember telling my dad the night before, I've written my notice out, I'm leaving. That's it, I've had enough.
Yeah.
And my dad said, yeah, okay, cool. Where are you going to go? What job have you got lined up? And I said, I haven't got a job lined up. And he said, no, let me tell you a thing now, he said. You can finish whenever you want, but you have a job to go to first.
Yeah.
You just don't leave. You're not living under this house, under this roof, without contributing. So that's what I had to do. So I didn't get myself a job. I stuck at it. And probably about 6 months later, within a year, like you, some reason it clicked. I understood what a layer was, and then graduation. I was like, oh, that's what it is. And then I started to enjoy it. And once I started getting credit by the team, I was the lowest of the low. It was a proper hierarchy in the salon.
Yeah.
I was the proper shampoo boy. But I started to blow dry. I was doing blow dries, and I was so diligent, and I was so into what I was doing, that one of the girls who had just became a stylist took notice, and then she recruited me as her blow dryer, because back then they used to cut and didn't blow dry. So they would cut, move along to the next haircut, you would blow dry for them. So she noticed, and I worked with her, and after a few months, I caught the attention of the boss, who then ring fenced me so nobody else could have me, because he wanted me, because I was good enough. And from then I just grew and grew and grew. Just my confidence grew, I suppose. So that's how I got into it. And kind of, I've never looked back since. And I've had highs and lows, but it's been the most incredible journey. Now, 42 years now I've been doing it. You're still about 35 or something. What are you now?
36.
36. So I'd already been here in 5 years by the time you were 6 years by the time you were even born.
Yeah, I've been hairdressing 15 years.
Yeah. So
up today. So
I've seen all the kind of highs and lows and massive changes in the industry, and that's my issue, and that's why I think I found it really getting myself the getter. Yeah. So my challenge has always been to stay relevant, and I remember when we were Joyco, and actually we had talked about this last year. When Gianni Scamacci was the vision director, I was having a real crisis of confidence and saying I didn't know whether I was relevant, and I didn't know what I was too old. Who's going to listen to me because I'm too old and all this type of stuff. And he said, look, actually, you're wrong. There's so much value in what you've got to say, in how you say it, and the knowledge that you have, that I actually think you're a massive part of the team because of that. And once I took that, I actually then, I was very, I was flattered by it and really appreciated what he said. But then I took more responsibility for it. And then I became more open to sharing and not holding back because I thought nobody wanted to hear. And as soon as I started doing that, I seemed to have like a second career almost. And my standard of the team changed and everything,
Well, yeah, we spoke about this last year, and with how everything has changed. The Joyco team's changed. We've got new, I come on board new, and we had the Irish girls. We've got the Mark Anthony guys who are incredible as well. and the rest of the team. Like we've all bonded over the past 2 years, over this period of time, and changed. But talking about the, I think this is what a lot of people can relate to as well. What you just said is having a purpose, being relatable, and actually having something to say. And that's something I really struggled with the YouTube channel. I thought, I've been doing it 15 years. Why would anybody want to listen to me? Why? What can I offer? And like, I can see, like this lockdown, I've really worked on my cutting and colouring so much. And I've just, I don't know, like, I realise that there's people that want to know how to put in a blunt line, and there's people that want to know how do you blow dry. And these are all things that are very basic. But working with Lee as well, I've learned, well, reanalyze things that we're teaching foundational stuff that people really want to know. And I think bringing it all back to that, and something David Murray said in his live the other night was about the creative cutting. And this is something that we always talk about. There's no such thing.
No.
Line layer graduation, and it's having your own ability to understand what creativeness is and being able to put your personal,
using fundamental techniques in a creative way, and using your imagination to use those fundamental things in the right ways, you know. Man's back on. Hey man, it's Suzanne. So I think that's a great career goal, Leah. That's a great career, and there's no reason why you can't achieve that in the shortest of time. I know that for a fact. You know, your work is fabulous. One thing I would say is that I've been like you, educating myself as well, but I don't colour hair very often. You know, I'm not. So I decided to hand paint Lisa's hair this lockdown.
Yeah.
Have
you split up, or?
We nearly did. It was a disaster.
Was it? No, it wasn't.
Honestly, mate, it was a car crash.
Was it?
It was like a car crash. Right?
Couldn't stop looking.
So as soon as I rinsed it off and I was blow drying, Do you know when you blow dry and you're thinking, oh my God, what have I done?
You put a video up of it and it looked great.
No, that was the last lockdown. This is this one.
Oh, right. Okay.
The last one I did baby lights, and I did the baby lights. It didn't hand painted, but it looked fab. I was really happy. This time I thought, I'll go a bit further. I'll hand paint this one, and it looked. Do you know when it was done? Jack Howard says if it looks good when it's applied, it'll be good in the finish. It looked good. I thought, there, I've done that. That's good. I rinsed it off. Came to the blow dry. Dear God.
Yeah.
Car crash. It was horrid. So much so, I was really upset. And I couldn't tell her because she was like, oh, it looks nice. It looks nice. I was like, no, that's just not good enough. And there's no way you can go out like that. So I said, I'm going to have to redo it.
Yeah.
She was working the late night the following night. Then say we did it on Monday. On the Wednesday night, I redid it. I did it with I talked to you about it. I had to do a root. I did a root melt for it.
Yeah.
I changed everything. Did a root melt. Did this banging. So I saved it. So actually, I feel really proud because I saved it. I did a color correction, and it looked better than the original thing. I took pictures of it. Right. I tell you, I swear to God in my life, I took pictures of the first one to send to my colorist to show her what I did, and then show her the one how it now looks. And I couldn't bring myself to send them to her because I know she would be so angry with me for doing it. So let's leave that alone. I'm not going to do that. It was terrible. So I know. So colour is a specialty that it's going to take me a long time to master.
Mate, I don't think so. I think when we get back to having a meetup in Holland, I think we'll have something. We've all
under controlled circumstances. I might do all right, but left to my own devices, it was awful. And I don't know whether it was the consistency of the bleach or whether it was just my technique.
What was it? Was it patchy or was it not lifted enough or
patchy?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Freehand.
Dotty, like terrible.
Yeah, saturation is I get bored of talking about saturation in my videos. I think people, that will be like my tagline, saturation guy. But that's all I talk about, saturation, because it's key.
And the placement as well. The placement in the front was horrific.
Was it?
I can't say it any other way other than horrific.
Yeah.
And it was, but so to save it and to do what I've done now, she looks brilliant now. I'm really happy with it.
Cool.
But I couldn't look at her before. I was like so embarrassed of my own stuff. Like, and I couldn't bring myself to tell her. I just said, I'm not happy with it. I need to do it again. She was like, it looks all right. I'm like, no, seriously, trust me. I can't have anybody to have a look at this. Right, if you put your hands in your hair and somebody starts looking on the side, I'm in trouble. So I couldn't do that. It was awful. So, he definitely is. He's a good bloke. But Sam's the same. So I've seen Sam a few times, and he's always quite good. So and again, he's very engaging, and the way he sort of sets himself up, and he's one of the boys. He's one of the gang.
Well, we're just connected on Instagram the other day.
Right,
me and Sam. So we've been chatting about bits. So yeah, it's great to.
I was aware of Sam through Casey Coleman, who used to work for me.
Oh, okay.
That's when I became aware, about maybe 5 years ago, 4 years ago. That's when I just became aware of Sam, and that's how I followed from there. Then, so and really, I've always enjoyed what he does. So so it's been. Your mother's laughing, I know. She wouldn't have laughed if I did it to her.
No, oh mate, no, you don't want to do anything to my mum's hair. My mum's hair is one of the hardest hairs that I do.
Your mum?
Yeah.
Really?
So every appointment, it's like, oh my god, like it's so like she's the cleanest, brightest, naturally coolest blonde. But to get it how it is, it takes so much effort, and it is a lot of effort. Like, and I've transitioned from TBBs, like the Vero toners. Then I've gone to like the Lumishine glosses as well. So we've changed it up a bit. Then we went to the new Blonde Life Quick Tone, which were great. And then now we're back on the TBB TSB to give. She wants it like a bit cooler now. But yeah, my mum's hair is one of the hardest hairs that I have to do.
My mum's the same, but for different reasons. I won't go into them. Sam's made a good point here, look, about being trolled. Do you put any negativity on your YouTube?
Not yet.
No.
I think it was when I started putting up. I don't know what videos they were, but I was getting one dislike on every video, and I just thought, who's that? I mean, I don't care at all, and I don't care about if somebody wants to troll me. Like it's got no impact on my life at all. To be fair, I quite like it, if I'm honest. But then I seen that just the one thumb down, and I was like, who's that? And then the next video would go up, down. Next video,
same person.
Well, you can't tell. You don't know who it is on YouTube.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, it's all very. You can't really see your subscribers unless they comment. But yeah, there was one and it went away for a while. But now that my videos are getting more views, you get. I think one of my videos got 19 like downvotes and that sort of thing. So you can't let anything like that bother you. And
perhaps I should apologise now. Then
is that all 19 you?
Yeah, you got to keep your feet on the ground, you know.
Yeah.
I'm the worst customer, your mum says.
She's not the worst customer. Her hair is just very hard. She's basically like a level 5 naturally, and getting it to the blonde that she is. They're on my Instagram. If you scroll through, she's like the cleanest, blondest blonde, but there's like coolness to it. So it's not like that real bluey blonde. It's just a real nice, natural looking blonde, but bright, and it's so hard.
I feel like the kidney. Oh, right.
Do you feel like
the kidney's dying? There must be one then. Yeah, I think. Do you know, Anthony? I think it's yeah. I think for me, it's like being a bit like King Canute, standing in front of the tide and hoping it's going to stop. Social media at the moment is full of long hair because of the rise in influence of the colorist and the importance of color. And to see those effects properly, I think, especially balayage, ombre, hand painting, all of these, the money piece and all that, the glamour thing, it's all about long hair. So I do think that there's a trend towards longer hair. But my point is longer hair should still have structured shape. It shouldn't just be hanging.
Yeah.
I look at so many people on social media, I look on people on TV and stuff, I think if only they had a better structure to that would work.
Yeah.
So again, it comes down to fundamental technique and fundamental shape. But like I've started to share a lot more of my shorter work on my Instagram, and actually the engagement I've had since I've been sharing the shorter stuff has actually gone up. For some reason, I don't know why, there seems to be more interest in the shorter stuff. Especially the really short stuff. There seems to be a real influence on that. So I think there's no in between. There's no mid-length stuff. I think that's very sort of. I don't know when anybody likes that.
I don't know. Like we were with the live the other night with David. He was getting a lot of love for his short haircut and saying, "Can we see more short haircuts?"
Yeah.
I definitely think, like with the trend report videos that I'm doing, there is so much. I mean, a lot of it is manipulated with color, definitely, to make it look a little bit more different. But I've got a real thing for collarbone cuts at the minute. I think these haircuts that just sit here, really full but shape, and I think that's the thing that's missing.
Sure.
When people are going in for haircuts and they're either saying, "Oh, they've got a picture," and the hairdresser is only seeing the length, but they're not seeing the point of references throughout the haircut.
Yeah.
I think that's really fundamental. What needs to be either taught, learn, or just consult that little bit more, because the point of references within haircuts is something that I got into about 6 years ago, where it is one length, it looks, but then you've got a layer here, you've got a bit of shape here, it comes out here, and then you've got the height, if there is any, or the differentiation of direction. And I think that's something I've become obsessed with, and I talk about it a lot with points of reference on haircuts.
I think, I think you hit on a real point there, because you're talking about shape and structure and how we look at it. And I think the problem is that the last 3 or 4 years we've seen a lot of the long stuff. So if I go to education and I do a session and we throw in a short haircut in the session, there's usually one of the biggest talking points is that everybody's confident with a longer haircut, but then the moment you throw in a technical short haircut, they kind of fall to pieces, because that's the way the industry been 3 or 4 years ago. I do think Leah's made a point. That's exactly what I just said. It's a generational thing. So the last 3 or 4 years, a lot of assistants and a lot of apprentices are being taught, and the big bang for the buck, the big dollar at the moment is in the long balayage, hand painted, foiling hair. So they don't actually spend time on the short haircuts then. Yeah. And I think there's a kind of so it's a lost art. Really. No, it's not just not lost, because there's so many people still doing it, but this generation don't understand it as much as they should.
Yeah, it used to be the haircutters were like the rock and roll front.
Yeah.
In any stage show, any platform, you wanted to go and see somebody cut hair.
Yeah.
Now you want to go and see them colour.
Absolutely, it's a big flip, isn't it?
But Lee, like you can be a great colorist and a great cutter too, and I think that's why Joyco have said to me recently, just give me a little bit of advice with my Instagram, saying, "Oh, you're doing a lot of cutting at the minute. You need to be showing a bit more colour for what I do for them and for the distribution and everything." And I totally agree, but I just felt I was doing so much colour. And I said this last year.
You've been boxed into that.
people always labelled me as a colourist, and I absolutely love cutting hair. Don't get me wrong, colour is my thing, but I love cutting hair, and that's why I've decided to do more cuts. But you do need a cracking haircut to complement a colour. It's like when you do awards and you get awarded a colour competition win. You did a haircut with it, but no one really talks about that. It's like, oh, the colour was amazing. It's like, yeah, no, but look at that haircut. But it just seems to be a little bit, I don't know, diluted. But thanks, Tony. Like, we're going to do this every week. So we are going to be back every week, guys. We're enjoying this, as you can tell. Ruben has a question. What's the best shampoo for lady growing out her hair colour?
I know. I'm just responding to that now.
Yeah.
So I think that's a whole conversation, isn't it?
Oh, it is.
Yeah, it is off the shelf. There you go. Because that's not what we do, is it? Really?
No.
I think it's a great question, but I think that there's a huge, what color, what's your natural color, what's it look like now, hair texture, hair density, what type of finish do you want, how often you shampoo your hair, how often you drying it, how often. There's so many things, and it's all a simple shampoo, right?
Yeah.
But you're like me, and like Leah's the same. We're very prescriptive in what we do. So the more information we have, then it's easier to give a prescription for that rather than one size fits all. That's the whole thing now in colour, in cutting, in home care, it's become prescription.
Yeah.
And if you're not part of that prescription trend, then you're really not on the right track, because that's where the industry's headed, to this full service, bespoke service. You're making sure everybody understands where you're coming from, professional knowledge, professional servicing. All of that is key to what we now deliver. It's not just like, oh, I need a haircut. And the lockdown has taught people the value of that. But still people don't value it as much as it should be.
No, but as well, the reason for the value there is consultation. Like, I'm a real one for as you are, consultations. The value is in that initial interaction where you're going to be giving your client exactly, not exactly what they want, because sometimes you might not. You might sit there and they want something which isn't necessarily possible, but you're going to give them the advice that they need to be given. And when it comes down to the bespoke service of the cut, colour, aftercare, treatments, that's where it all comes down to, isn't it? Like, rather than just their bum barely touching the chair and then in the basin, it's like, give them a good, if you need to give them a 30-minute consultation, give them it, because we need to get.
There's no time limit, that's part of the process. And, like, I've got to be fair, like, my team is so good at doing that now. I haven't got any fears about it. And, like, I think that's down to like the culture you build within the business or whatever. And I've still, like, I'll visit salons and I'll do education within a salon. But before I do, I usually want to sit down with the owner or the manager, or whatever, and find out what they want.
Yeah.
And I'll do a visit for an hour at the salon for coffee. And how many times I sit there and I'll see a client come in who's obviously a regular client.
Yeah.
And the client will even go to the area where they keep their gown on, put their own gown on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa. And then go and sit themselves down at the backwash. And I'm like, and they say, oh yeah, that's just like Jane. She's here every week. And I'm like, doesn't really matter. Jane still needs to have a thorough consultation, and you still need to find out how it was last week. And, those are the things that are really important.
Yeah.
The whole thing, the industry's changed massively, and I think, there's 5,000 salons have gone bust in this lockdown.
Yeah, they're predicting 15% more, aren't they?
Yeah, and but the reasons is because fundamentally they don't have the systems in place that make them professional enough to service the clients and the clients' needs for this market. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
I was just done this thing this morning on the Clubhouse thing, with Nurgish for the Fab Standard, and we're talking about consistency. Like, I've got my Fab Service star. I'm the only one in Wales with it, and the great thing about the fab service standards, with Nurkish will explain next week, is that it's measured, and you have to apply for it. You enter your figures. They ask you for figures, and then you've got to back it up to show it. You have to send them a printout of what your computer says.
Yeah.
It's all legit. And if you don't match up to the standard, you don't get it. They refund you your money, but they also refund you with a report to tell you where you need to improve to what.
Yeah.
And that sets up the. So I think it's better than. I'm not dissing the kind of the Good Salon Guide or anything, but I know I stopped using the Good Salon Guide some time ago because I know 5-star salons. You're supposed to have your own laundry. You're supposed to have lots of refreshment, all the different things. And I know salons in my area were 5-star with none of those things.
Yeah.
And we'd invested in all those back office stuff, and yet they would. And I know some of the salon owners, and they basically said, "Oh well, we spoke to them. They said, unless we're going to give us 5 stars, we're not going to invest with you.
Yeah,
we're not going to pay you." And I was like, I don't know. That was like probably for 4 years ago, 5 years ago. I don't know whether that's still the same, but I just decided not to follow up on that because that's not unless you're credited. We've got a magazine in Cardiff called City Life. And City Life send out these invitations, tell you finalised for the best hairdresser in the area award, right?
Yeah.
And I haven't even entered. I haven't even entered the award. And there's no criteria to the award. So you turn up on a night and you might win, you might not win or whatever. But it always seems that the people who take the biggest spreads with the magazine over the year tend to win the award. And they said, they came to me last year and said, "Oh, will you are you?" And I said, "Thanks for the invitation, but no, I won't be attending." They said, "No, do you mind just asking why?" I said, "Yeah, because there's no criteria to the award."
Yeah.
Said, and if you set up a criteria and I was willing to, I'll compete with anybody over it, but I don't, there is no criteria. It's we like you, that's the winner. For what? What reason? So they couldn't give me what the scoring system was. They didn't even have it themselves.
Yeah. No.
So, but it's still in Cardiff. It's still regarded as a prestigious award to win. I'm like, no, not for me, because it's just ridiculous that people think that is the. I'm salon stylist of the year with City Life magazine, and the clients get it. The clients think, "Oh, that person won." I'm like, yeah, well, great PR, but integrity and authenticity is a big thing for me.
Yeah,
and I don't really agree with that unless you're showing something for it.
Yeah.
Predictions for reopening.
April.
Yeah, post Easter, I think. After Easter, I think we're the same. The cases in Wales are coming down. We've got a lot of the population now being vaccinated. We're ahead of the UK and all that in Wales. So hopefully we should be coming back to safer times. Maybe, I don't know, but March, April.
This is another question from Anthony. It's one of the things that often find.
Yeah. I don't know. To be honest, at the end of the day, my philosophy has been this, right? And I've said it for the last 15, 20 years. And Leah's been to seminars with me many years ago, and I've said it then, is that a client fundamentally doesn't know a good haircut from a bad haircut.
Yeah.
They just don't. You have the odd one or two who they may like it, but how many times have you got a client in, this new client, you've picked a haircut, think, what the hell is this? And they say, well, I actually quite like the haircut, I just need a change in the colour, or I just need a change in this. A client doesn't know a good haircut from a poor haircut. What they will always recognise, though, is good service from poor service. And the price of a haircut only ever becomes an issue, or a colour, only becomes an issue where there's poor service. If you've got really, really good service, it is no issue.
Yeah.
And that is the bottom line. So, and I've seen stuff like that, 50-minute haircuts, but if a client's happy, then they're happy. I had Dan's one of our colleagues at Joico Europe with the Mark Anthony group.
Yeah, did a great live every week.
Great live the other week. Fair play.
Yeah. It's definitely a learn.
Tell me about it. I never want to do it again. No, I definitely have to do it again, Sam, because it was like, I don't excuse myself for the language, but it was a shit fest. I've got to do it again just so I can, for myself, for my own peace of mind, to know that Yeah, I can do it. Definitely saturation. Placement. My placement was awful. And I thought I'd nailed it. That was the worst thing, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's just practice. Practice makes permanent, and that's it.
Well, Tony's saying he's 50 to 65 years has been vaccinated. I hope so, Tony, because that's my age group. I haven't had the call up yet, though, but I'm looking forward to it when I do. My fiance is a doctor. She's on the front line, so she's already been vaccinated. She's having a second one tomorrow. So she's like 35, which is terrible. Well, 36 now she is. So she's 20 years younger than me, and she's already been vaccinated. It's not fair, is it? So I think I know her brother's a dentist, her sister's a dentist, her other sister's a doctor. They've all been vaccinated. Her mum and dad's in the late 60s, 70s. They've been vaccinated. So I'm the only one in the family who hasn't been yet. How did you become part of the Joico team? How did you become Paul?
Well, it's all a little bit. So I've wanted to be part of artistic teams and education and all that from the very beginning of my career, and it's something I never thought I would even amount to. It's just something which was a goal of mine. And then at the beginning started winning awards, and then Matrix come in for me, and I was a Matrix educator, and then I progressed to Unite, so Unite Artistic Team. And then I went and become a Joico ambassador when I was working with Joico. And then Lee Stafford come on board, and he started to really nurture my skills and really teach me how to present and confidence. And then he emailed Redken and said, you need Paul Watts as part of the UK art team. So I auditioned for there and then got onto their team. And then after 3 years with Redken, Joico then come back in for me as a product line. And I said I'm an artist for Redken. And they said, well, you there is a space and you can audition. So it's you have to audition. I mean, maybe you didn't, Ian, but I did.
Thank God I didn't, yeah.
I had to audition. I had to stand up on a little platform stage area in Holland and present a concept to the bosses, basically. Did a little mini show, prepped my mannequins. So I had 2 mannequins, sectioning pattern, a finished result, did the technique, and did like a little mini show for them. And then we had a discussion, and luckily they liked me, asked me to be on the team, and here I am.
Yeah, mine was a bit different. So I started off as way back when I was 30, actually. I can remember it like it was yesterday. I got my first taste of show work when I was 30. I was working backstage for the salon I was working with then. They were Sebastian Salon. We were asked to actually use the salon as a base for a show in Cardiff. So I was there and I basically shampooed hair all day. I was stylist, but I was actually the busiest stylist in the salon. But I wanted to learn, so I stayed behind and I did all the prep work. So my day off, went in, and that's all they allowed me to do was shampoo all day, shampoo and take colours off. And when they were really struggling with time to get the blow dries then, I was like, I can blow dry. And they were like, no, they wouldn't let me do it. And I was a bit disappointed. And the next show, they invited me back. Would you like to come and assist this? It was in Manchester. And I said, oh, yeah, I went. There was no fee. I just went to my own time, again on my day off. I went there, assisted. And I still didn't blow dry. And I was getting a bit angry because I wasn't being asked to do anything. I was only allowed to shampoo and take colours off and make teas and coffee. And I remember talking to the girl called Sarah Carter. She was fantastic, Sarah, a great influence on me at that particular time. She was the artistic director for Sebastian UK in back then in the 90s. And she said, and she did a debrief with me, and I had a debrief. She said, look, I'm not being funny, but the reason I'm going to ask you, I don't know anything about your work. And I'm not going to let you do work and then just got to go on stage, and it's crap. I can't afford to do that. So we've got a program running. It's called an advocate program. Would you be part of it? So I went to do that. They got to see my work, and I got fast tracked then because the Americans came over, saw what I was able to do. They then created a British team with 3 artists, and I became part of that almost immediately. Went to America to work twice a year. I worked with them for about 11 years, and then I opened my own salon. Then I got divorced. I lost all that. Then I went to work. Then I was working with Weller, and that's where I met Bruno. Me and Bruno were on the same Weller team called Project 7. with Annadelle Capagni, Kai Wan, Bruno, Martin Holmes from Strange Ways. That was 7 of us in the team called Project 7. So I got them. And then that kind of just fizzled out. And then Joico became interested. And I was asked to go to a meeting in London again on my day off, to meet Missy Majeha, who was the global education manager, and Sid Cook, who was the CEO. I met them. It was supposed to be a 20-minute meeting, turned to 2 hours. And by complete chance, I mentioned, not by chance, I told them my CV, and they said, "Oh, you work for Sebastian?" I said, "Yes." And Angelia Pozzanelli, she used to book me, she worked for Sebastian. She used to book all the artists. So Angelia, then when I was talking to Missy from Joico, said, "Did you know Angelia?" I said, "Yes." And she says, "Oh, she's now with us. She works for Joico, head office in Arcadia in LA." So she said, I'll email her about you. So after the meeting, she said, "Look, I'm in Europe now for the next 2 weeks. You wouldn't hear from me for a month. So, I'll speak to you in a month's time. So don't worry if you don't hear from me." And then like 24 hours later, I get a message from Missy saying, "Can you call me?" So I called her. She said, "Look, I sent a message to Angelia. She remembers you." So I was blown away. I didn't think she'd remember me. It'd been years before. And Angelia had sent an email saying, "If he's available, get him." So that's how I got the gig with Joico. Then there was no Joico artistic team in UK then. It was only Europe. So I went straight into the European team with Ulf, David, and Bertazou, and I think then came Jill Berry, then Ryan came on board. So it was growing then, and then we got the UK team, and we got big presence. But I was there since 2010. But it was 10 years next month. Actually, it would be 11, Jill, because it's before that. Because I think Jill came on board in the meeting in the Sanderson we had, which was when we all put the British team together. And I was there about 6 months before that when there was no British team. But Jill and I were the first 2 in the British team then, that we all came to meet in the Sanderson with the same people I just mentioned. And we had a great party. Our first Christmas party, asked Jill about our first Christmas party. It was amazing.
Was it?
Yeah. At the Sanderson. And it was me, Jill, and Gianni, the Missy, who was the global agent, Sid Cook, who was the boss, and the PR, 6 of us at the Christmas party. And it was wild. It was the best party ever. But it was a Sanderson Hotel. So it was the best Christmas party I've ever had with Joico. We need to do another one.
I've never had a party with you all.
Yeah, it was that they were great. When Sid was director, he was global director. He's the CEO of the company. He's always in the box, Jill. I'm not even going to say about locking him in the box, Jill. So there was a box in the lobby of the Sands, looked like a coffin. Jill got in it, and I put the lid down and kept it. Lots went on in that party. But yes, Sid loved a good time.
Just touch on this. Yeah, it was Dan's first live.
Really?
Yeah, the other night. So it is over on Europe's Instagram. Go and check it out. It's from Mark Anthony's Inspiration Collection.
Yeah, lovely. That little bob is beautiful, isn't it?
Oh, unreal. Bang
on.
And here's Tony letting you know when you're getting your injection, mate.
Oh, Tony's going to get his on Tuesday. Oh, damn it. I haven't got any missed calls or anything. I'll be calling myself now, I think. So I'm older than Tony as well, I think. What's going on? So next week, because I know we come to the end, we got Nergish Wadia Austin. Nergish is one of the biggest influences in business in hairdressing. She has been for the last 25, 30 years. Worked mostly with L'Oreal as a business advisor, business coach to salons in growing their businesses. She's now started her own organization called Fab Standard, PHAB. If you don't know of it, look at it. It's amazing. She is creating a standard similar to the Michelin star in restaurants for salons. You can apply for it, but you have to submit information. Whether you can then get a Fab service star or not. So far, Andrew Barton, Errol Douglas, Michael Van Clark. There's some big names already have the Fab standard. I'm the only one in Wales so far, but I'm trying to grow it in Wales and get the information out there. She'll come on next week. She'll tell us all about it, 3 o'clock next Monday. And she is phenomenal. She's the most inspirational business person you could speak to. She is like on it. Brilliant. Cheers. Any more questions? Anyone want to finish up with some questions?
Yeah. Just get your questions in, anybody, because we'd have to be on just for an hour. We can just answer any questions you want. There's still some people. So just throw some questions at us. But I'm looking forward to next week because I've never met her. I've looked at the Fab Stylist. I'm going to have a little look again and see if I match the criteria. But the
thing is when you apply, there is a fee. It's about £85, I think. I don't know, don't off the top of my head. It's a business expense anyway. You can write it off. But if you aren't successful, they refund you the money straight away.
Yeah.
They also send you a report of where you need to make improvements, and I think that's fantastic. You know, so you can get there. You know, fantastic. So that's amazing.
It is amazing.
See, I told you I knew I was older than him. I was older than him. Damn it. I'm like the oldest person on here. Oh, yeah, I'm the oldest person on here. I think I'm the oldest person. I must be the oldest person you must know, Paul, in hairdressing, apart from your dad, who's obviously not a hairdresser, but...
Probably, mate.
Yeah, I know. What am I trying to kill myself, trying to keep up with the youngsters?
How do you ideas and techniques?
Can I take this one?
You?
Yeah. Can I say first? Because I think that there is nothing new. There's nothing new, but I think there's an evolution of what we do.
Yeah.
So you will do something on a trend, and that will start you thinking in another direction. And that's where inspiration comes from. You know, like it doesn't always come from hair. It comes from other things. Sometimes like pop videos or just magazine stuff, or things you just read about, and they'll set your mind thinking. My mind had to work that way.
Do you remember mine? I kept on going on about it in the live I did, looking at concrete and shapes and everything like that, and then like steel colours started to happen and all this, and it just hit me one day. I was walking along the street, and you just see these different shapes in architecture, in nature, in everything day to day. Just take a minute and just look at where you are. Look at lines, look at shades, look at shapes, look at tones. And that's where I really get my inspiration from. My new live that I've got coming on Thursday is called the Alabaster Amethyst technique. And what that is alabaster. I'll tell you now, I'll give you a sneak peek. Alabaster is like a compound that they use to make statues out of. So it's basically snow white is the colour of it.
Isn't it alabaster originally from marble? Isn't it like a ground marble?
Yeah, well, yeah. So it is a marble. It can be translucent. It can be dyed. So that's how they create all these different colours. So yeah, alabaster is what they use to create forms, statues, and that's why I've really gone with alabaster as the first bit, because my sectioning pattern is going to be carved into the hair a little bit differently, and that's like me carving into alabaster. The colour is going to be snow white using the new 10V from Joico. And then the amethyst is a healing calmness crystal. But it's a purpley tone, lilac, plum. So by that, you can see what colours I'm going to be putting together. So some purples, there's going to be really crisp whites in there. But yeah, that's on Thursday over on Joico Europe Instagram. So if you want to see that, 7 o'clock if you're UK. If you're Europe or anywhere else, it's like 8 o'clock. But yeah, that's going to be exciting. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think like a good thing being part of the team, you get to find out a lot of information from each other, and that's what inspires you as well. So yeah, people start things off, and you'll kind of you'll spring your mind in other directions and other artists, but not just in hairdressing, but in all fields, I suppose.
Yeah, it's like the 3D collection that me and David did. Yeah, we had to create volume in hair using cut and color, and we did a mood board. We had a brainstorming session. We had to present it to marketing, and we really come up with a concept working on each other's. David being the cutter, me being the colorist, on how we were going to layer up haircuts and create volume using both forms. And it is, I mean, I'm looking forward to getting back to it, to be honest, and creating some new looks and with all you guys.
Dan's saying, what does the future hold? Will it be all you do to retain your clients once you're back? And I think, Dan, you know, like for us, it's creating a really great, consistent service that clients can rely upon. I think through the lockdowns and through the uncertainty of times at the moment, people are filled with uncertainty. They are filled with, you know, not knowing what's coming next. And what they want from any service provider, whether it be hairdressing, whether it be your leasing company or whatever, they want an element of certainty and good consistency and great service.
Yeah.
And I think if you're going to retain customers, not only retain them, but actually take them on to the next level with us and be able to charge the money that you want to charge and to make, you know, fulfill all the promises you want to make to them, then creating a service to them that is completely prescribed to them is everything that they need, you know, meeting their needs, making them feel really good, understanding what the problems are, but consistently delivering it to a high standard. That's how you retain them, and that's how you build, and that's how you take them with you on the journey where you're charging more and more money. Because I still think there's an issue within the industry, and that there's a self-worth issue element, there's a confidence issue in charging high prices. And I think that, you know, we are getting better with that, and this has opened the conversation through both the third lockdown, and people put their prices up, and they still weren't really happy to charge. But I still, when you've got 5,000 sounds going bust, and more now being predicted to go bust, that's down to like the value we place on everything. And as an shoot to that, not on a tangent, is James Atkinson's already set a profile on, set a thread on Facebook asking who has earned 40,000 as a hairdresser in the industry. And reading the thread, I spoke to you earlier before we came on, is it's amazing how people don't realise the difference between turnover and earnings, or turnover, gross profit, net profit, and earnings. They don't understand that. People say, "No, well, I've turned over this." Well, turnover doesn't mean what you've earned.
Yeah,
you know, and they don't know what the percentage of earnings are attached to that. And so there's a big issue about running the business as clear. So if you don't understand, how can you tell your team? How can you explain that to your team about how they can earn big money? Do you know what I mean?
Touching on that though, Ian, that could be because the rise of the rent-a-chair.
Yeah, that's another big. That was actually part of the conversation with the clubhouse this morning. I was saying that one of the reasons people, the business models that are out there now, I believe, are mostly antiquated. They're old and they no longer fit today's model. My real belief is that the reason people are now renting chairs is because it gives you flexibility, it gives you autonomy of what you're doing, and it allows you freedom. They're the big things that people say when they rent a chair.
Yeah.
So my point is I looked at my team, and because we have a level of consistency built into the service, and because we have service measures in place, and they know exactly what they are, I've been able to offer my team agile working conditions. So basically, I can look at them and say, look, there's 37 and a half hours a week, in a working week. And what I need you to do is you can fill those hours as you want. Because, if that means you're not working on a Saturday, that's up to you. Providing your numbers, your measures don't devalue or become down. If you maintain them or take them higher, then how you work your 37 hours is up to you. Back in the day, you could only have like 2 or 3 Saturdays off a year in the salon. Now with my team, it's pretty much unlimited.
Yeah.
Do whatever they want, provided their services and their levels stay at the level that I believe is the way to do it. So I think that is key to everything that we're doing. And giving those people the flexibility and that agile working with the security of having sick pay, holiday pay, furlough should be coming to issues like this. All of those things are great in the industry. And I think that's where we need to be, and that's where the industry needs to make sure that it's valued, professional, and understanding what the numbers actually mean.
Definitely.
Yes, I train my own team from even if they come from somewhere else, they have to go through an induction process. Often they don't cut hair for maybe a month or two before I allow them. That's my investment in to get them up to speed, so that then they can be part of the team and work sort of seamlessly with the rest of the team.
Yeah. Cool.
Any more questions?
That is it. So if anybody wants to get any more last questions in, we'll jump off at 1:15 if there's no more. But thank you all for joining us. I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed doing this again. And I'm looking forward to next Monday now.
Next Monday's going to be good. Honestly, Nergish is a powerhouse of a woman that is really dragging the industry into the 21st century, whatever it is, you know?
Yeah.
No, thanks, Sam. Great contribution, Sam. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. And Laura said brilliant views, Ian.
Oh, thanks, Laura. Mate, next week.
Next week. 4 o'clock.
Do you say 4 o'clock next week, or is it 3 o'clock? Oh, no, you're working till 3, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah, I've got a live next Monday, Tuesday. So I'm working.
4 p.m.
4 o'clock. Can't wait for answering my question. Can't wait. Oh, thanks for answering my questions. Yeah. No problem. Yeah. Bring more next week. And if you can
bring the A game next week. Bring the A game. We love it.
Yeah. But if you can share this on Facebook, or if you share the YouTube link, much appreciated. Subscribe. And also, Ian's got a YouTube channel, the
Mindful Hairdresser.
Mindful Hairdresser. So if you want to jump over there, see what Ian's doing.
There's not much on it yet. I'm still promising to do more content. I'm not as clever as Paul. I'm still working. I've got loads of stuff which I need to edit, but there's stuff going on there soon.
Cool. Right.
Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. Thank you, everybody. And we'll see you next week. I've got a live on Thursday with Joyco Europe.
Yeah.
There's a video going up on Wednesday, which is another how-to video. And then I've got something interesting coming up on Sunday. So
can't even get near the screen. It's on fire from here.
Yeah. Right.
Right, brother. See you soon.
Take care.
See you.
Bye-bye.